Folks, if I could just interrupt your revelry for a few moments. First, I want to thank Graham and the daughter of Steven Spielberg for the wonderful hospitality this evening. And I want to thank all of you, since none of you bothered to point out to her that she's had the lens cap on.
Don't do that, I'm shaking.
What it falls to me to propose and deal with the toast to the ladies or to the lassies. Now, one thing is clear, and we need to make this perfectly clear to everyone. What you will not hear is an effort at a Scottish brogue. Hipólito does not do Scottish. I did try it one time. It's about 43 years ago. It's 1963 or so, and I guess 40 years ago, whatever. And I am trying out for a role in the play Brigadoon. And the role I want is, there are only two non-singing roles, and God knows I have to have a non-singing role. There are only two. Mr. Lundy, who is the schoolmaster, and in effect the narrator of the show. Great role. And one other role. Two of us try out. Each of us, of course, adopting an effort at a Scottish brogue. So I wind up as Frank the bartender in New York City, Act 2, Scene 4. That should give you an understanding as to why I don't pretend to make any effort whatsoever at an accent. I also do want to thank Graham, because when I agreed to undertake this effort, he said, lots of help, just visit the internet. You'll find all kinds of things that will assist you. So I did. So I went to the internet and I started looking, and the first website I found had a lot of interesting information. But as I got to the bottom of the page, I found this little thing. Quickie, South Carolina divorce, $149. I have not made a good beginning. Let's try something else. So I found another website. Found a suggestion that one should be, quote, deliberately set out to cause just the barest touch of mild offense. I figured the idiot who wrote that is either single or had a wife who was on some form of a pilgrimage or safari distant enough that her girlfriends with cell phones and internet access couldn't find her. Not another good beginning. But I still wondered, what does mildly offensive mean? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll look at only objective traits concerning the Lassies. How can you get in trouble with factual and objective traits? So that's what I've done. Now, some of these come from my own personal observation, and others come from things I've been told by friends and relatives.
Where'd you bookmark the divorce?
And I did. Yes, I did. But I already have a defense lawyer lined up. Fortunately, she's licensed both in New Jersey and South Carolina. Several examples should serve to illustrate my points. A couple of thoughts came to me, as I said, because I have experienced these and others I've heard. So it seemed to me that as I looked at the recent fiscal cliff efforts, I recognized there were some efforts there or some opportunities that were just missed by the government. All they had to do was recognize the principles taught in that course called Economics for Women 101. That's the course that we men are not permitted to take. And it works somewhat this way. You know these principles. Most of you guys will recognize this. They work this way. If you have a coupon worth $2 off a $6 item that you neither need nor want, if you buy the item with the coupon, you have saved $2.
Yeah.
spent don't count. So I couldn't understand.
What's your point?
Why didn't we have just print a bunch of coupons? We hand the 535 members of Congress $535 billion and say, go buy. We've saved $2 on every coupon used. That's a hell of a dent, because we don't count the $4 spent to buy China. We miss a great opportunity, and that's basically economics 101 for women. Any of you men tried to enlist in that course, you were probably rejected.
No objections, so.
I think it's a brilliant opportunity, I just don't know how we miss it. Then I was subjected to, and those of you who know me know that I don't follow American football much. In fact, I struggle with how you call a game football when the hands are used primarily. But that aside, as the NFL playoffs began to unfold, I recognized that the National Football League and the Lassies have a lot in common. Neither one can tell time. So when you're watching a game, there's 5 minutes left in the game, or in the quarter. Well, that means there's about a half an hour left to broadcast. So you've been here, guys. Your wife says, I need about another 5 minutes, dear. You know that means somewhere between 20 and 30. It's like the NFL. Now, I'm leaving out the Super Bowl, because the Super Bowl requires 2 full days to broadcast only 60 minutes of football. So we're going to leave that aside, even that's beyond the pale. So you've been there, you're ready to go, you both decide we're going to leave at 6:15. Right? That seems like a reasonable time. So at 6:15, there you are, jacket on, hat in hand, car keys in hand, ready to go. You turn around, and where's your wife? She's still in a nightgown type arrangement and says, dear, I need 5 minutes. Sit down, guys. You'll catch the last 5 minutes of the game you thought you were going to miss, and you'll still be ready before she is. That's just how the Lassies tell time. You get used to this kind of thing, I think. And it just happens.
There's more time for scotch when the lassies are doing their thing. You can drink more scotch.
Why not? That's probably a better way than just watching the damn football game, at least the American football game. Now I'm going to hazard another guess here. I think you'll probably, the guys I think might agree with this. We also have a very different view, that is the Lassies and the laddies, when it comes to shopping. So when you need a pair of shoes, what do? You go to a shoe store, you buy a pair of shoes. You need a shirt, what do? You go to a haberdashery and you buy a shirt. What does your wife do?
Haberdashery. Whoa.
She goes to a mall. She doesn't go to a store. She goes to a place that has 200 stores. And you go along in what position? You are the Sherpa, my friend. And we go from store to store to store, and we try on everything. And then what do? We go back to the first store and try it on, buy the first thing we tried on. The difference is this, guys. Men buy, women shop.
Yep.
And that's basically one of the major differences.
Yeah.
All right, so we pointed out a few differences. They exist. However, it seems to me, as I thought about it further, I should say, that none of these above traits, none of the traits I talked about, put us, a single one of us, off in any way. They're not off-putting in the least. How do I know that? We're all married. And we're married to women. Secondly, each of us had a mother, so we had the opportunity to observe these traits. We were not off-put by that either. We married. Those somewhat, I guess, endearing traits that I've been talking about attracted us. Why did we marry? We need only look around. Look at those lovely ladies who accompany us. It's clear why we married. And so I ask you gentlemen, take your glasses, raise them and help me in toasting the women we love, the delightful creatures by whom we are bewitched, bewildered, and bothered, as Lorenz Vargas said. To the Lassies.